So today we'll be getting into some stories on Paul Heyman, Riddle, and Naomi. For today's question of the day, who do you think is the next biggest opponent for Roman Reigns after John Cena? Let us know your thoughts on that question below. Let's start things off with this concerning situation for Naomi. Jimmy's arrest was all over the news this week and was a big topic among the wrestling community, and even other communities as well. Naomi is obviously married to Jimmy, so she's been really close to the situation more than anyone else. Fans took notice that Naomi's Twitter account was deleted over the weekend. Naomi didn't reveal why she deactivated the page, but many fans speculate that it was most likely just a mental health and social media break, following all that controversy that's been going on this week. Social media can be a great way for stars and fans to interact, but you know they're always going to have someone that pushes it the extra mile and crosses the line. That always happens, and that's why social media can be a real double-edged sword. So fans assume that something along those lines could be the reason why Naomi deactivated her Twitter account. It's not a full deactivation, her page isn't gone forever. All users have 30 days to reinstate their account before it's truly gone forever. So Naomi will likely keep it down for a few days or a few weeks at most, but she'll be back in due time once she's ready. As far as everything with Jimmy's WWE position goes, everything appears to be fine. He opened SmackDown, was heavily featured throughout SmackDown, and even closed out SmackDown once again. So his arrest doesn't seem like it had any impact on his usage in WWE. But hopefully everything turns out well for Naomi and she can return to Twitter in a bit, because we definitely miss her on there. It was a story that we first talked about probably over a year ago by now. But we'll quickly recap because Riddle has just addressed this situation. So Riddle's wife took to Instagram to call out WWE women and criticize their bodies, the way they worked out, and their actual ring attire itself. His wife's comments were more specifically focused on Becky Lynch. She criticized Becky for wearing full body ring gear, basically implying that she was out of shape. Massive backlash from the fans came almost immediately after those comments. This is something that Becky has opened up about in the past. Becky mentioned how she didn't really like her two-piece attires in NXT because she was always distracted, thinking about how she looked. But once she wore the full bodysuit, that distraction went away, and she was able to focus more on the matches. So for someone to open up about their insecurities like that, and then get targeted by your coworker's wife, was quite the big deal. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch didn't speak to Riddle after that entire situation. Fans have also pointed out how WWE always kept Seth Rollins and Riddle on separate brands at all times. They've never been on the same brand or match with each other. The only time that they shared the ring was in the 2020 Survivor Series match, where fans also pointed out that Rollins never looked in the ring when Riddle was tagged in. So with that story and all these rumors from the fans, Riddle finally addressed this heated situation with Rollins and Becky. He had this to say on where he stands with the both of them, with speaking with Talk Sport. I'll be honest, I've met Seth multiple times, and he's met me, and I don't think we'll ever be best friends. I don't think we like one another. We're just two different people. We both love wrestling. I know my significant other said something about Becky that they didn't like, and I also did not like or agree with. Seth didn't like me after that, and I don't think Becky liked me or my wife either, which is understandable. It is what it is. Riddle also tweeted at Seth Rollins after Seth qualified for Money in the Bank and said, "Hey bro." So Riddle and Seth Rollins will be sharing the ring again at Money in the Bank. So you know some fans will be paying close attention to see if Rollins and Riddle interact in that match at all, or if they will continue to keep their distance. But that was Riddle's comments on the entire situation with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. He says that he never liked or agreed with what his wife had to say, but he completely understands if they don't talk to him or don't like him. Next up, we got a very interesting post coming from Paul Heyman's Facebook page that could potentially be a warning for Roman Reigns. Paul Heyman has served as Roman Reigns' special counsel ever since Roman returned. Paul Heyman's relationship with Roman is much different than how things were with Brock Lesnar. Heyman often referred to himself as Brock's advocate. Heyman handled 100% of the talking for Brock Lesnar and really stood right in the spotlight with Brock Lesnar. The Paul Heyman we've been seeing with Roman is very different. This version of Paul Heyman doesn't do 100% of the talking and doesn't stand with Roman Reigns front and center. This version of Heyman seems like he's almost afraid and terrified of Roman Reigns. Keep an eye on Heyman's facial expressions when Roman speaks, and you'll notice that Heyman hangs on to every word that Roman says with an extreme look of concern on his face the entire time. Heyman was often in control of Brock Lesnar, but he's well aware that that's not the case here with Roman. He has zero control over Roman Reigns, but Roman still turns to Heyman for advice at crucial decision-making times. Heyman doesn't try to get involved with Roman's decision-making, but if Roman is really going off track, you'll hear Heyman step in and start off his sentence by saying something like, "I know I'm just the special counsel, but," and then he gives Roman the advice. Roman never really gets angry at Heyman and often takes his advice without questioning him. Roman has had to question Jimmy and Jay's loyalty and put them in place time and time again, but Heyman's loyalty has never been tested. We've seen Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar dozens of times over the years, so some fans may be burnt out on that matchup. But what makes a new matchup between them so interesting is the fact of the Paul Heyman element. Where does Paul Heyman's loyalty lie if Brock Lesnar does return to SmackDown? Does he really help Roman Reigns defeat Brock Lesnar? Or does Heyman reveal that he was just using Roman and runs back to Brock's arms? That's the real interesting part there. Paul Heyman's Facebook page was updated to show an old picture of Paul Heyman looking on and smiling as Brock Lesnar was beating down Roman Reigns. So, interesting timing for that post. Roman also name-dropped Brock Lesnar on SmackDown recently, so a lot of pieces are coming together there. But what does it all mean? Is Heyman trying to say something? Does Heyman know something that no one else knows, including Roman Reigns? That's what we need to find out. Is Heyman warning us that Brock Lesnar is coming back for Roman Reigns? Is he trying to say that he's tired of Roman Reigns and wishes Brock Lesnar would return? One small picture post just opens up so many possibilities and leaves us asking a lot of questions. Telling by this picture alone by Paul Heyman, it does look like he's sort of implying that he'll go back to Brock Lesnar. Obviously, we won't get the answer to this question or even an idea of where this is going until Brock Lesnar returns himself. If Brock Lesnar returns to SmackDown in the future, Roman may start to wonder if Heyman is basically standing by him to be an informant for Brock. So that would be great to see Roman question Heyman as well when the time comes. So we'll have to wait and see what Heyman's reasoning for posting that picture, or if it was posted just to mess with the fans. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.